If you're over 70 and finding yourself wide awake at 2 or 3 a.m. most nights, staring at the ceiling while the rest of the world sleeps, I want you to know something important. This isn't just normal aging, and you don't have to accept it as your new reality. After decades working with older adults in clinical settings, I've seen a pattern that modern sleep research now confirms. Up to 50% of adults over 70 experience significant sleep disruptions, and recent studies published in 2024 reveal something fascinating. Elevated nighttime cortisol, your body's main stress hormone, is behind most of these middle-of-the-night wake-ups. Here's what's happening in your body. Even when your mind feels calm and ready for sleep, your adrenal system can trigger a cortisol surge that jolts you awake, raises your heart rate, and leaves you feeling alert when you should be deeply asleep. Your body essentially thinks you're facing danger, even though you're safely in bed. But here's the hopeful part, and why I'm making this video today. Recent clinical research has identified specific natural compounds, many already studied in older adults, that can significantly reduce nighttime cortisol and help restore the deep restorative sleep patterns you may not have experienced in years. In this video, we'll explore 5 evidence-based sleep aids ranked from helpful to potentially life-changing. These aren't sedatives that knock you out or leave you groggy. Instead, they work by addressing the root cause, calming your stress response system so your body can naturally transition into deep sleep and stay there through the night. Everything I'm sharing today is backed by peer-reviewed research, much of it conducted specifically in adults over 65. You'll find all study references in the description below, so you can verify this information with your own healthcare provider. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from? And do you struggle more with falling asleep initially, or with staying asleep through the night? Drop a comment below. I read every single one and respond throughout the day. You're part of a community here, and your experiences matter. Now, let's start with number 5, a mineral that most seniors are deficient in without even realizing it. Number 5, magnesium glycinate, the calming mineral. Your nervous system needs magnesium glycinate isn't just another supplement gathering dust in pharmacy aisles. It's a precisely designed compound that pairs magnesium with glycine, an amino acid with its own calming properties, creating what researchers call a dual-action approach to sleep support. Here's why this matters for your sleep. Research shows that between 29% and 53% of adults over 70 have clinically low magnesium levels, and this deficiency directly impacts your body's stress response system. When magnesium is low, your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the command center for cortisol production, becomes overactive, leading to those frustrating nighttime wake-ups. When you take magnesium glycinate about an hour before bed, it goes to work on multiple pathways. First, it helps block overexcited signals in your brain that keep you in a state of alertness. The glycine component acts like a gentle brake on your nervous system, slightly lowering your core body temperature, a natural signal that tells your brain it's time for sleep, while boosting serotonin production, which your body converts into sleep-promoting melatonin as evening approaches. A recent 2025 randomized controlled trial tested magnesium bisglycinate in 155 adults with poor sleep quality. The results showed modest but meaningful improvements in insomnia severity. And importantly, the benefits were most pronounced in people with lower baseline magnesium intake, exactly the situation many older adults face. How to use it effectively. Start with 200 milligrams of magnesium glycinate about an hour before your intended bedtime. You can dissolve it in a small amount of warm water or herbal tea, which helps with absorption and creates a calming bedtime ritual. If needed after a week, you can gradually increase to 400 milligrams, but many people find the lower dose works well when taken consistently. The key word here is consistency. Unlike quick-fix sleep aids, magnesium builds up in your system over time, creating a buffer against stress that strengthens week by week. Most people notice it becomes easier to fall asleep within the first few days. Then they wake less frequently during the night, and after about 2 weeks, that racing mind that used to spiral with worries simply quiets down. Why glycinate specifically? This form is gentle on your stomach and has the highest absorption rate of any magnesium type, meaning more of it reaches your cells where it can do its cortisol-lowering work. Other forms like magnesium citrate can cause digestive upset, but glycinate is well tolerated even by those with sensitive systems. The benefits extend beyond sleep. Studies show regular magnesium supplementation in older adults also supports healthy blood pressure, better blood sugar regulation, and stronger bones, making it a true multi-benefit approach that addresses several age-related concerns simultaneously. But as helpful as magnesium glycinate is, it's just the foundation. Let's move to number 4. Number 4, L-theanine, the T compound that switches off your stress response. L-theanine might sound scientific, but it's actually the natural compound responsible for green tea's calming effects. When taken in concentrated form before bed, it performs what sleep researchers describe as remarkable. It quiets your amygdala, your brain's fear and anxiety center, while simultaneously increasing alpha brain waves, the same relaxed yet alert state that experienced meditators spend years learning to achieve. This isn't speculation. A comprehensive 2024 meta-analysis of 18 randomized controlled trials found that L-theanine significantly improved sleep onset latency, meaning people fell asleep faster, across multiple studies using doses typically around 200 milligrams. What makes these findings particularly compelling is that L-theanine was tested in diverse populations, from healthy adults to those with mild cognitive concerns. Here's how L-theanine works in your body. Within 30 to 60 minutes of taking 200 milligrams, it crosses the blood-brain barrier and begins influencing your neurotransmitter production. It boosts GABA, your brain's primary calming chemical that works like a volume dial, turning down the noise of anxious thoughts and stress responses. It also increases dopamine and serotonin levels, creating what researchers call a perfect storm of relaxation that makes it virtually impossible for cortisol to maintain its grip. Research specifically shows L-theanine lowers the cortisol response to stress, and it does something unique. It creates alert relaxation rather than drowsiness. This means your mind stays clear and calm, but your body is primed for deep sleep. Perfect for older adults who want to avoid the morning grogginess that comes with many traditional sleep medications. A particularly fascinating study found that people over 65 who took L-theanine nightly not only fell asleep faster and stayed asleep longer, but also showed significant improvements in cognitive function during the day. This suggests that by lowering nighttime cortisol and improving sleep quality, L-theanine may help protect your brain from the damage that chronic stress and poor sleep can cause. How to use it effectively. Take 200 milligrams of pure L-theanine as a powder or capsule about 45 minutes before you want to be asleep. Important note, don't try to get this dose from drinking green tea before bed because tea contains caffeine, which would counteract the sleep benefits, and you'd need about 10 cups to reach the therapeutic dose, which would have you running to the bathroom all night instead of sleeping. Many people find that combining L-theanine with magnesium glycinate creates an even more powerful effect, though it's wise to start with one at a time to see how your body responds. What can you expect? Within about 30 minutes, you'll likely notice the mental chatter starts to quiet. That tight feeling in your chest loosens. Worries that seemed overwhelming just minutes ago suddenly feel manageable and distant, as if someone turned down the volume on your stress response. Unlike prescription anxiety medications that can be habit-forming and lose effectiveness over time, L-theanine actually becomes more effective with regular use as your nervous system learns to maintain a calmer baseline. There's no risk of dependency or withdrawal, making it safe for long-term use, even in people taking other medications. The real beauty of L-theanine is that it doesn't just help you sleep tonight, it retrains your nervous system to handle stress better throughout the day, creating a positive cycle where better sleep leads to lower daytime stress, which leads to even better sleep. Before we continue to our top 3 cortisol-crushing compounds, if you're finding this information valuable, I'd appreciate if you'd tap that like button. It helps other seniors discover this evidence-based information. And make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos where we dive deep into science-backed health strategies for thriving after 70. Now let's talk about number 3, an ancient herb that modern research shows can literally reset your stress response. Number 3, ashwagandha root extract, the adaptogen that resets your stress thermostat. Ashwagandha has been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years, but it's only in the past decade that rigorous clinical trials have revealed just how powerful it is for sleep and stress management in older adults. A 2020 clinical trial specifically tested ashwagandha root extract in elderly participants and the results were impressive. Significant improvements in sleep quality and mental alertness compared to placebo, with the benefits becoming more pronounced over the 12-week study period. Participants taking ashwagandha reported the treatment was safe, well-tolerated, and beneficial for their overall quality of life. What makes ashwagandha especially powerful is that it's an adaptogen, a class of compounds that literally help your body adapt to stress by modulating your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Think of it as recalibrating your stress response system so it doesn't go into overdrive every night when you're trying to sleep. The active compounds in ashwagandha, called withanalydes, work by fitting into cortisol receptors in your body, blocking excess cortisol from binding while simultaneously increasing the sensitivity of your GABA receptors, making your brain more responsive to its own calming signals. The National Institutes of Health notes that clinical trials show ashwagandha not only improves stress levels and sleep quality as measured by validated rating scales, but also lowers serum cortisol levels. What makes ashwagandha particularly valuable for people over 70 is that it addresses both the immediate problem of high nighttime cortisol and the underlying issue of chronic stress accumulation that happens over decades. It's giving your stress response system a complete overhaul rather than just a temporary band-aid. How to use it effectively. Look for a standardized extract containing at least 5% withanalydes, typically labeled as KSM66 or Sensoril, which are the most researched forms. Take 300 to 600 milligrams about an hour before bed with a small amount of healthy fat, like a spoonful of almond butter, because withanalydes are fat-soluble and absorb better with lipids. Unlike some herbs that work immediately, ashwagandha builds up in your system over time. Most people notice initial sleep improvements within a week, but the full cortisol-lowering effects take about 4 to 6 weeks to reach their peak. This is why consistency is absolutely crucial with this supplement. The elderly-specific study showed that at baseline, both sleep quality and mental alertness on rising were comparatively low, but after intervention with ashwagandha, there was a significant increase in quality of sleep and mental alertness. The improvements continued to build throughout the 12-week trial period. The transformation with ashwagandha is comprehensive. Not only does it improve sleep, but research in older adults shows it also supports muscle strength, cognitive function, and overall vitality, making it a true multi-system support compound that addresses multiple aspects of healthy aging simultaneously. People taking ashwagandha often describe a profound shift in how they experience stress, feeling like they've developed a protective buffer between themselves and life's challenges. Stressful events still happen, but they no longer trigger that overwhelming physical response that floods the body with cortisol and destroys sleep. One important note: ashwagandha has an excellent safety profile in studies, but if you're sensitive to supplements, start with a lower dose of 300 milligrams and work your way up. Always choose organic ashwagandha to avoid pesticide residues. Number 2. Phosphatidylserine, the brain protector that stops cortisol at the source. Phosphatidylserine might sound complicated, but it's actually a type of fat that forms a crucial part of every cell membrane in your brain. And when you supplement with it before bed, something remarkable happens. It literally blocks the signal that tells your adrenal glands to pump out cortisol. Here's what makes this so important for older adults. Research published in academic journals shows that phosphatidylserine supplementation can reduce basal cortisol concentrations and help regulate the circadian rhythm of cortisol, reducing symptoms particularly in elderly subjects experiencing stress-related concerns. It essentially strengthens the cell membranes in your hypothalamus and pituitary gland, the command centers for cortisol production, making them less reactive to stress signals. What makes phosphatidylserine especially valuable for people over 70 is that our natural levels of this compound decline significantly as we age, which partially explains why sleep problems and cortisol dysregulation become so common in later years. Supplementing brings levels closer to what they were in your younger years, when sleep came easily and stress didn't stick around. Studies have shown that phosphatidylserine supplementation can improve neuropsychological performance in elderly patients, suggesting it doesn't just help with sleep, it supports overall brain health and cognitive function. A 2016 review noted that phosphatidylserine supplementation particularly when combined with omega-3 fatty acids, reduced basal cortisol and helped regulate circadian rhythm in elderly adults. How to use it effectively. Take 300 milligrams of phosphatidylserine about 30 to 45 minutes before bed. Choose a supplement derived from sunflower lecithin rather than soy, as sunflower-derived phosphatidylserine is cleaner and less likely to cause allergic reactions. Take it with a small amount of food to enhance absorption, but avoid taking it with calcium supplements as they can interfere with uptake. The effects of phosphatidylserine are often noticeable within the first week, with people reporting they fall asleep more easily and, more importantly, stay asleep through the night without those frustrating 2 or 3 a.m. wake-ups. The sleep feels deeper and more restorative, not just longer. Phosphatidylserine has been extensively studied for its cognitive benefits, with research showing it can support memory, mental clarity, and healthy mood, making it a true brain health supplement that happens to also be incredibly effective for managing stress-related sleep disruption. People describe the phosphatidylserine experience as feeling like someone finally turned off a switch that had been stuck in the on position for years. That constant background tension, the kind you might not even fully realize is there until it's gone, gets replaced by a sense of calm alertness during the day and peaceful drowsiness at night. The way phosphatidylserine works at bedtime is particularly elegant because chronically high cortisol can lead to receptor downregulation within the stress response system. People often feel burned out during the day, yet experience elevated cortisol at night when it should be at its lowest point. Phosphatidylserine helps normalize this pattern, allowing cortisol to follow its natural rhythm again. Number 1. Glycine, the simple amino acid that delivers sleep miracles. And now for number 1, the compound that scientific research suggests may be the most effective natural sleep aid for older adults: glycine. Glycine is the smallest amino acid in existence, so simple that your body can make it from scratch. Yet when Japanese researchers gave just 3 grams before bed to adults with sleep difficulties, they discovered something that changed how sleep scientists think about natural interventions. The results were remarkable. Studies found that glycine improved subjective sleep quality, increased sleep efficiency by up to 13%, enhanced deep sleep and REM sleep duration, and most surprisingly, reduced daytime sleepiness by 29% and improved next-day alertness. People reported feeling more refreshed than they had in years, all from this humble compound that costs pennies per dose. A 2023 systematic review examining glycine administration across multiple studies found that the nervous system demonstrated the most positive effects, with improved sleep in healthy populations taking glycine before bedtime. The mechanism involves glycine acting on NMDA receptors in the brain to improve sleep quality through multiple pathways. Here's how glycine works its magic. It directly lowers your core body temperature through peripheral vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels in your hands and feet, which triggers your body's natural sleep mechanisms. A 2015 study published in Neuropsychopharmacology explained that glycine promotes sleep through this peripheral vasodilatation via activation of specific receptors in the brain's sleep-wake regulation center. Simultaneously, glycine acts as an inhibitory neurotransmitter that calms neural activity and blocks the stress signals that trigger cortisol release. It's like addressing both sides of the sleep equation at once. Your body gets the physical signals that it's time to rest, while your brain gets the chemical signals to power down. What makes glycine particularly powerful for people over 70 is that it addresses a critical deficiency that develops with age. As we get older, our bodies produce less glycine while simultaneously needing more of it for detoxification, collagen production, and neurotransmitter balance. This creates a perfect storm of deficiency that shows up as poor sleep, elevated cortisol, and accelerated aging. How to use it effectively. Mix 3 grams of pure glycine powder in a small amount of water or herbal tea about 30 minutes before bed and drink it down. It has a slightly sweet taste that most people find pleasant. Nothing like the bitter herbs or chalky minerals in other sleep supplements, and it dissolves completely without any grittiness. The effects of glycine are often immediate and profound. Within 20 to 30 minutes, you'll likely feel a gentle wave of relaxation wash over you. It's different from drowsiness. More like your whole body is softening and releasing tension you didn't even know you were holding. When you lie down, sleep comes naturally and easily without that frustrating period of tossing and turning. But here's where glycine gets really interesting. Unlike other sleep aids that can leave you groggy the next morning, glycine actually improves daytime cognitive function. Studies show that people who take glycine at night score better on memory tests, have faster reaction times, and report more energy during the day. This suggests it's not just improving sleep quantity, but dramatically enhancing sleep quality. The mechanism behind this seemingly paradoxical effect is that glycine helps your brain clear out metabolic waste products during sleep more efficiently, including proteins that accumulate with age. It's essentially giving your brain a deeper, more thorough cleaning each night. Research has found that glycine supplementation improved lifespan in laboratory studies, likely due to its effects on improving cellular energy production, reducing inflammation, and enhancing the body's natural detoxification processes, all of which are supercharged during the deep sleep that glycine promotes. The safety profile of glycine is impeccable. It's considered so safe that it's used as a food additive, and studies have used doses up to 60 grams per day without adverse effects. The 3-gram bedtime dose is all you need for sleep and cortisol benefits, making it accessible and worry-free even for people taking multiple medications. Glycine also has a unique property that sets it apart from every other sleep supplement. It appears to reset your sleep homeostasis, the biological pressure to sleep that builds during waking hours. This helps restore the natural sleep drive that often becomes disrupted in older adults, which is why many people find that after taking glycine for a few weeks, their sleep improves even on nights when they forget to take it. The combination of glycine with magnesium glycinate is particularly powerful since you're getting a double dose of glycine along with magnesium. Many sleep specialists now consider this combination a gold standard for natural sleep support in older adults. The 5 evidence-based compounds you've just discovered represent a complete system for reducing nighttime cortisol and reclaiming the deep, restorative sleep that's essential for healthy aging. What I love about this approach is that you don't need to start with all 5 at once. Begin with just one. Many people start with glycine because it's so affordable and fast-acting, and gradually add others based on your individual response and needs. Remember that consistency is key with all of these compounds. Their benefits compound over time, creating lasting changes in your stress response system rather than just temporary relief. Research clearly shows that stable sleep patterns are linked to better health outcomes and successful aging. Understanding the science helps, but I know what really matters is how you feel. Better sleep means more energy during the day, sharper thinking, better mood, and the vitality to do the things you love. You deserve to wake up feeling refreshed instead of exhausted. It's also worth noting that up to 50% of adults over 70 experience significant sleep problems. So if you're struggling, you're far from alone. Changes in circadian rhythm amplitude and sleep architecture are common with aging, but they're not unchangeable. The research we've covered today shows that targeted, science-backed interventions can make a real difference. As always, I encourage you to discuss these options with your healthcare provider, especially if you're taking other medications or have specific health conditions. While these compounds have excellent safety profiles in research, your doctor can help you determine the best approach for your individual situation. If this information helped you understand how to finally get the restorative sleep you deserve, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos on evidence-based health strategies for thriving after 70. I'm here to help you navigate the latest research and translate it into practical steps you can actually use. Drop a comment below and let me know, which of these 5 compounds are you most interested in trying first? I read every comment and love hearing about your experiences. Sweet dreams, and here's to the best sleep of your life starting tonight. Thank you so much for watching.